It's been a fantastic four for Colonel football. Welcome into the Coach Tim Rebowe Show, presented by Smoothie King. My name is Bryant Johnson, and the Nichols Colonels are on a four-game Southland Conference winning streak. They win in San Antonio this weekend, 38-31 against Incarnate Word. Coach Rebowe, I'm sure you're a little sad to see the month of October end. You go undefeated, but this team is positioned for the only month that matters, November.
You know, what I like about this team is they don't get too far ahead of themselves, and they don't look too far behind. I mean, because you can't go back in any of those games. It's 1 week at a time. I think, as always, we'll reflect back after the season's over. But this team is just focused on moving forward. We had a good win this weekend. As always, the focus this week will be to go 1-0.
Three really close games, but the Colonels have prevailed in all three. Injury situation has been a challenge all year long, but Saturday, another indication that you find a way to win and you win with the players you have. Big plays marked Saturday's victory.
Well, I think good teams find a way to win, and they win in different ways. No two wins are ever alike, and when guys got to step up, like second play of the game, you're watching right here, Mason Roberts takes it a distance on a bootleg. Chase did a good job of finding it.
You underestimate his speed. 68-yarder against Incarnate Word, 62 yards against Prairie View A&M. All smiles for Mason Roberts.
Yeah, it's good to see him get the ball in his hands and do some special things with it.
Defense were filled with disruptors early in this game. Incarnate Word finishes with 335 yards of total offense. Darren Evans makes his first career start, and he gets to scoop up a fumble.
Yeah, that was a good play by Tevin Lawson. Got in the backfield and forced to throw to go backwards, and Evan Varro had it in his hands and then flipped it over to Darren, and he's got to hold on to it. But it set up the offense on the 8-yard line to see if we can go in for an easy score.
Kyron Irvin's up to 6 touchdowns on the season, and if you want a forced fumble for a touchdown, 68-yard for a touchdown for Mason Roberts. Larion James did not want to be outdone. The third interception return for a touchdown this season.
Yeah, good job by a guy who got significant playing time for us right there. Austin Dickerson did a good job of coverage and tapped it into the open arms of Larion. He did the rest.
First interception for Larion, and it puts Nichols in a position to win their fourth straight conference game. When you look at that Southland Conference standings and know what's at stake over the last three games, really, this conference is still there for the taking.
Yeah, you know, our guys look at in the distance. They try to watch the standings a little bit, but I told them if we just take care of ourselves, we'll fly a little bit below the radar if we have to. And there were some bigger games than ours last weekend. If you look at it, when you had McNeese and Central Arkansas and Southeastern and Sam Houston. But all we got to do is worry about the Colonels and take care of ourselves. And our goal this week is to try to get to 6-1.
We'll preview the Houston Baptist matchup a little later on in the show, reflecting on what it takes to win 4 straight games in the Southland Conference. This is arguably the number 2 or 3 conference in the country this year. Power rankings-wise, you'd put the Southland at the number 3 mark. It doesn't matter who you beat in this conference. If you pull off 4 straight wins, that's something to celebrate.
I think at any level. You know, when you reflect back to look how bad we played against in Sam Houston in that game, and for the guys to bounce back. But what I like about them, they enjoy the victories on Sundays, and we go right back to work Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. They on to the next opponent. They know everything about them. The coaches do a fantastic job of putting the game plan together and giving the kids an opportunity to go out and perform it and hopefully have success on Saturday.
What really stands out during this winning streak, your rush defense. You've allowed 400 yards in the 4 games since Sam Houston State at 3 yards a carry.
Yeah, those guys up front are doing a fantastic job. It's all about gap control and doing your job. And the thing that I like, they're really unselfish, is that, hey, it doesn't matter who gets the tackle as long as the guy gets down on the ground. And those guys feed off of each other. They like the play. They like to get up front. Linebackers are playing well. I think it's just a total team effort.
Tevin Lawson, such a great player to personify what you just said, that maybe the stats don't reveal how successful he's been, but he's got a lot of guys that understand. Tevin Lawson will probably be the first player to reach the quarterback or running back. He'll disrupt you, and then inevitably there's a sack or forced fumble that can be in your lap because of number 99.
Well, he got player of the week for us on defense. You know, we give out the low team weekly awards, and he got it. He was just all over the field. His numbers were all over, from quarterback pressures to quarterback hits to forced fumbles to sacks to tackles, and he just did a good job for us.
The defense certainly were able to put the game in the bag late. Colonels win by 7, but Chase Forcade, he set the stage for another impressive offensive performance, a career-high 358 yards passing by the sophomore QB. We'll take a look at some of Chase's biggest plays when we continue on with the Tim Rebowe Show, presented by Smoothie King. It's 2 o'clock in San Antonio, Texas, with a 60-degree afternoon awaiting us from the Alamo City Colonels in their frosty all-white uniforms today. White jerseys, white pants. Colonels will be led by Laurent Fonseca. 20 touchbacks this season. We are underway from Tom Benson Stadium, and the kick to the back of the end zone where a knee will be taken. Touchback number 21 as the Cardinals will start from their own 25.
I'm going in, I'm going in, I'm going in, I'm going in.
And I'ma go hard, and I'ma go hard, and I'ma go hard.
Give me some, let's go! They can't guard you!
Colonel wide receiver coach Sean Murphy, a lot to celebrate during a 358-yard passing performance between Chase Forcade and mainly 3 of his receivers. We're back with the Tim Rebowe Show presented by Smoothie King. You had 300 yards between 3 receivers, evidence why Coach Murphy was loving life Saturday afternoon.
Well, you got 2 receivers that had over 100 yards, and the third, Damien Jean-Pierre, was right there. We were messing with him this week about if he didn't have that drop, he'd have had 3 receivers over 300 yards. But Chase did a fantastic job of finding the open guys and getting it to him. And I even think Chase missed a couple of throws. He probably could have had a couple more yards mixed in there. But we knew they were tough run defense. We knew that. The plan was to get the ball to our wide outs. And I thought we did a fantastic job of getting some yards after catch. And, you know, Coach Murphy does a fantastic job coaching the guys, but he's got some good players, and sometimes he can coach those guys sitting on a bucket.
It was the first time in really 3 weeks we've seen Chase Forcade at 100% strength. His accuracy on point all afternoon. It started early in the game. Second play was the touchdown to Mason Roberts. But as we look at some of the completions that led to a 358-yard performance, great to see number 9 at full strength and healthy.
Yeah, and he's getting into a big target right there in 86. Dejon Dixon, the true freshman, is just getting better and better every week. And then you got always he can go to Mason. He can count on him. You got Jarrell Rogers out there who had a couple catches. So you see him going across the middle right there. Now you can't forget about old number 3, old reliable Damien. And, you know, he's still a little hobbled and banged up. But look, it's next man up. Guys step up and get ready to go.
Damien Jean-Pierre finishes with 89 yards receiving. Nice job putting himself in a position to be a complementary force with these receivers, with Dejon Dixon and Mason Roberts clearing 100 yards.
Well, I think what it does is when you got the multiple receivers you can throw to like that, it puts a lot of pressure on defensive coordinators and defenses on who they're going to try to take away and what they're going to try to do. And if you got a quarterback who's hitting on all cylinders, and you know, we talked about the run game, Brian, a little bit. It was a combination of some things, but when you watch the film and you look at it, those big guys up front did a really, really good job in protection and giving Chase ample time to throw the football.
Your offensive coordinator, Rob Christoffel, said early in the season we're just scratching the surface of what Chase Forcade's true potential is. When you see him spreading the wealth to Raheem Falcons, to Mason Roberts, to Dejon Dixon, it feels like you're getting closer and closer to really seeing what this offense is truly capable of.
Yeah, then you throw the tight ends in there and you throw a couple of the running backs. He can get out the backfield, and then you have a really, really complete package. And, you know, we talk about it in our staff meetings and we talk about it with the team. And I don't know if we're really playing our best ball right now. We still got some ways that we can improve, and every week we're trying to do that.
Trust factor is so key between a quarterback and his offensive lineman. The ability for Blake Hartman to get the start at left tackle, and for a right-handed quarterback to have that faith that his backside is going to be protected, that he is going to be able to throw the ball over the field at will. Another noteworthy moment from Saturday's game.
You know, I'm really proud of Blake. I mean, he's a guy who's been there for 5 years. He's done a good job. And there's some games he doesn't get to play a lot, but to get the start, I'm just happy for that young man in his senior year.
You finish up October with an impressive road victory, 2 of these wins coming on the road in impressive fashion, and now to turn your attention to November with this offense close to full strength. What's the big takeaway from this month and some of the lessons learned?
Well, I think we talked about having some goals. You always have goals during the season, but then also you start to narrow in and have some smaller goals towards the end. And what I'm going into this week was we want to have a winning season, to get that W this week, to get to number 6. That was not where we're going to stop, but that was just something that we wanted to do. And our guys went. How to travel, how to get on the road and win some games and get our record back to 2-2. We did that in traveling games because I said we're going to need it down the road. We had a couple more road games coming. So I thought it was a clean trip, even though it was a long trip out to San Antonio. The guys, I thought, handled it really well. And it's always good to get on that bus on the ride home after a victory.
Colonels were able to clinch their first winning season since 2007. 12 wins in their last 18 Southland Conference games, 3 left in the 2017 regular season. We'll look back at my favorite play from Saturday's win against Incarnate Word when we continue on with the Coach Tim Rebowe Show presented by Smoothie King.
Colonels will send on their punt unit facing a 4th and 3 from just outside of midfield. St. Germain from his own 30, low snap, hits a fake. St. Germain runs to the left for a first down. Show him your speed, Tyler St. Germain. Breaks the tackle, loses the ball late, but it bounces out of bounds. And that is a 27-yard pickup with the St. Germain family in front of us going crazy.
Coach Rebowe, thank you for recognizing that punters are people too and allowing me to run a 22-yard run today.
Oh, the genuine appreciation of Tyler St. Germain. Coach, he's forever indebted to you.
Now, you have to prepare me a little bit. I didn't know that was coming right there. You know, there's so much that goes into that play. All year long, you practice certain plays and certain fakes in certain situations, and you never know when is the right time to call it. You know, you got to have a trust. Those guys have to trust that everything's going to be executed. And, you know, if it backfires, they get the ball right there. But so we get on the headset and talk to it. We talk it out with Coach Rob, and we talk it out with Coach Tommy. And so I flipped over on the defensive side and said, hey, we're thinking about faking it. And he says, hey, do it, you know, having the confidence that the defense can go out there, stop it if it didn't work. So a lot of credit goes to those guys for executing that. You got to get the snap. You got to get those 3 guys in there blocking. And I thought Mosley and Fontenot and Garrett LeBlanc did a great job of picking the guys up. They wanted to call it off there for a second, but we said, no, let's go ahead and run it. Tyler did a great job, and we're probably going to have to put him through a few ball security drills this week. He's going to have to hang on to it. But another good play right at the end, Adrian Richardson hustling down the field, and the ball pops loose, and he taps it out of bounds so we can hang on to the football. And then we go up and score a touchdown and make it 14-0.
This Saturday, you'll play your final home game of the 2017 season. You have players like Tyler St. Germain that have been here for 4+ years. Tyler started punting for the Colonels in 2014, actually cleared the 8,000-yard marker in his career on Saturday for total yards punted. To see him seize an opportunity like that, it goes to a lot of the core tenets that you created here. It doesn't matter if we recruited you or if we inherited you. You're a part of the Colonels, and this plan starts with whoever is on the roster.
No, he does a fantastic job, and he's one. He handles his business on the field and off the field, and always does a great job. And I just don't know where there's people, you know, punters are people too. But you know, I do know this they are, but I'm not so sure about deep snappers and holders.
Wesley Barnett was upset that we even described that as being a low snap. It was a strategic snap, Wesley. We know you put it low so Tyler could take off with it. All right, so this is the 3rd year where Colonel football has been led by Coach Rebowe, and this is the 2nd time you've given your punter an opportunity to pull off a fake. So let's see who did it better. We'll start with 2015, Colonels at Lamar. Chris Shambra was not brought in to be the starting punter, but late in the season, he was able to get an opportunity, made the most of it. Review the tape.
I thought they recognized it right away, and Shammer did a great job of just outrunning the tape. We picked up a little bit blocking right there, but they had more people there. I don't know how he got through there, but that was a big moment in the game. If you see right here, we didn't block the 2 guys off the edge, but he did a nice job of cutting and getting down. How many yards he had on that one right there?
I think that was just a little over 20, shade over 20.
Yeah, but I don't know. Tyler had just clear sailing right here. I may have to give it to Shamber. I don't know if Tyler would have hung on to the football. It might have been a little bit closer battle right there.
Chris Shambra was one of the postseason heroes for LSU baseball in 2014 going into 2015. You've been so strategic with the players you brought on board, and Chris Shambra was the first person on social media after Tyler St. Germain's run on Saturday. You know, punters are people. Look at our athleticism. It can be a really fun game sometimes.
Yeah, but you know, it might be another 4 or 5 years before we ever try to do that again.
Tyler St. Germain's punt return ability to run that fake, it set up a score for the Colonels. And really, this was kind of the story of Saturday's game. Even though Incarnate Word made it close, you had a 31-14 lead at the half. Really, it was a 2-score advantage throughout most of the game. And until that onside kick at the end, that was their only opportunity for a chance to maybe tie or pull even. Of course, Mason Roberts falls on the ball, and they never threatened.
You know, we scored 38 points, and you probably left the field a little bit going, hey, we really didn't. We left so much more out there. You know, we missed a field goal right there, and then right there at the end of the game in the 4th quarter, we had a 3rd and 1 and a 4th and 1 on a 1 yard line, and we didn't get it in. We really could have sealed the game. whether you're going to kick the field goal there or go for the touchdown. And we decided right there to try to get to 7 points, and we didn't do it, thinking to go 90 yards. So probably left 10 points right there on the field, and you'd be knocking on 50. But our guys did a good job. I think at the end of the day is to get a W, get off the field, get on the bus, and get back home.
Colonels will turn their attention to Houston Baptist. They'll welcome the Huskies to Thibodaux Saturday afternoon at 3:30. We'll preview HBU and Nichols up next on the Coach Tim Rebowe Show, presented by Smoothie King.
We win this thing, we win the game. Let's win in the fourth quarter. Good job.
Yes, sir.
No, sir. Come in on 3. 1, 2, 3. Come here.
I really want to plea to our fans and the whole Nichols community to come out next week to get the guys out. It's the seniors' last home game. We're trying to go 5-0. Let's make it the toughest place to play. We've got a good Houston Baptist team coming in. We're really looking forward to it.
A chance at history this Saturday in Thibodaux. Welcome back to the Coach Tim Rebowe Show, presented by Smoothie King. Colonels can go undefeated for the 3rd time in program history. Tickets are $5 off because of this 5-for-5 opportunity for Colonel football. You've got Military Appreciation Day, Senior Day, a lot going into your final home game.
For these seniors, these 16 seniors, some of them been with us 1 or 2 years, but some of us been here a lot longer. Really want to make it a special day, and we want to honor them and be there before the game. We want them to go out winners. We have goals every year, and one of them was to go undefeated at home, because we talk about it. If you do that, you got your 5 wins right there, and go steal one on the road, and you got yourself a winning season. So when you look back at history a little bit, the 75 team did it. They went 5-0. And then the 05 team did it. I think won the conference, but they played 4 home games. But for a chance to us to go 4-0 at home, get a big victory, keep ourselves into in the conference talk, in the conference race, it's going to be a big weekend. So if you can get out to the games, and let's tailgate. It's going to be a beautiful Saturday. Come out and show the love for these seniors and the rest of the Colonels.
And stop by the Coach Rebowe tailgate. You won't be there, but your brother will, and he was on the 1975 team that went undefeated at home. Let's play a game called Let's Get to Know the Huskies, because with Houston Baptist, Abilene Christian, and Incarnate Word, new members of the conference, you're still having a fan base that is familiarizing yourself with these 3 teams. HBU played a great game against you last year. You won it in overtime, 33-30 in Houston. One of the more underrated defenses in the conference this season.
Well, you know what? Vic Shealy does a fantastic job, and he's got them guys on the right foot. We got our first win against HBU 2 years ago. It was at home, and then last year was a completely different game. Those guys did a fantastic job, but they're a little inexperienced at quarterback this year. Really, really good running back in Terrence Peters, and he's got some weapons that they can throw it to. Defensively is where they make their mark, and those guys do a great job. They are in the top in really all the defensive categories. So our offense is going to have to get it rolling. We're going to have to make some 3rd downs and get off the field. Defensively, we're going to have to get some turnovers, and hopefully we can come out on top.
Their offense has only scored 8 touchdowns on the year, but they allowed just 230 yards rushing against McNeese and Central Arkansas in back-to-back games. Sneaky team that is 1-7 on the season, but I'm sure they'll be ready to play in Thibodaux on Saturday. Great opportunity for your Colonels to close their home season in style. A big day, regardless of what's on the line. Your program has certainly put themselves in a position to recognize the accomplishments of these seniors.
Well, I think that's what any program wants to do. Is just you want to have a chance. You want to show what you got, put that product on the field, and have a chance to win. And our guys are doing that this year.
We'll do it again next week. The Colonels will be on the road for their final 2 games of the year, but please listen. Attend Saturday's game or watch us on the 11 Sports Network. It's a 3:30 kickoff from Thibodaux, Manning Field. Place to be on Saturday on either ESPN Radio New Orleans or online or on 11 Sports. A lot of different ways to watch the Colonels finish up their 2017 season at home. For Coach Tim Rebowe, my name is Bryant Johnson, and this is the Tim Rebowe Show, presented by Smoothie King.